Hey guys, it's Francina Simone, and today I am here to talk about a little something called censorship. So lately I've had a bone to pick with people who have been kind of promoting censorship, because censorship is a fucking flaming dumpster fire. Like, if you look in history, censorship never goes okay. Anytime you talk about it, no matter your purpose or your reason, whether it may be just, moral, or of value, everyone always thinks that their purposes are just and moral and, surrounded in values when they talk about censorship. But anyways, first I want to talk about censorship in general, and then I'll chit-chat a little bit about this modern-day censorship that I'm seeing on book Twitter. So, of course, my opinions on censorship, if you can't tell by the tone that I'm using, is that I completely 100% disagree with censorship. I do not think that there should ever be censorship in any form of the imagination. For sure, there are tons of deplorable ideas out there. There are deplorable people out there who would wish to push their agenda by using media. However, if anything, history has always taught us that censorship is a bad idea. First of all, who implements censorship? It's not your fucking neighbor. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be me. It will be your government. Hey guys, I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat it. Look, just January 20th has shown us the complete difference in how unpredictable and how fast our government can change from the complete polar opposites. Censorship in itself is a deplorable idea. So what happens when we preach censorship as an idea, even if it is for a just cause? We are talking about censorship. We are making people okay with the idea of censorship. We are creating an atmosphere where people agree that censorship should exist. And then all it takes is for the people in power to decide, okay, people agree with censorship, let's start censoring things. But let's do it in a way that pushes our agenda. So censorship, bad idea. Trying to push it, create it for your own purposes, still a bad idea because you're pushing a bad idea, a bad platform that is extremely unpredictable. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think that what's going on BookTube is essentially modern censorship. A lot of what I see today is this kind of public shaming for people who decide to read things that a lot of people consider to be bad books, or books that are hurtful and harmful to certain groups of people. There is a narrative that it is okay to publicly shame these people. It is okay to call them racist. It is okay to call them stupid. It is okay to not only say that they're ignorant, which is fine. Saying somebody has an ignorance about something is a truth sometimes. Okay, but it doesn't stop there. It starts at tearing down people's characters, calling into people's experiences into question, pretending as if you know these people, their lives, their experiences, who they are, just based off a thumbnail and maybe 140 characters of an opinion that they have. People decide to take all of that and then decide that they understand and know these people's character, and so that they can tarnish it, shit on it, piss on it, in order to publicly shame them and to make them apologize, or others who are part of this conversation know that it's not okay to read these books because other people have said that they are bad. That is a form of censorship via aggressive tactics. When you have a community of people, and let's be honest here, the people on Book Twitter, generally the diverse group of people there are for diversity. They're not against diversity. People who are against diversity probably aren't following people who are for it. They're not actively having conversations with people who are for it. Yes, you're going to get trolled by people, but a lot of people seem to confuse I have a slightly different opinion with I don't like diversity. And, that's kind of dangerous. But anyways, when you start to publicly shame certain individuals, you're telling everyone in that community, this is what's going to happen to you if you have a differing opinion, or if you decide to pick up this book and share your own opinion on it. That's a form of censorship via public shaming. Let's not pretend like we don't know what that is or how that works. Let's stop pretending like these things don't exist, or that, we're not doing that. We're just, no. Just be upfront and honest. Yeah, that's what I'm doing because I don't want people to fucking read this. I want these things to go away. Just be upfront, honest, say that you're being a dick about it, and go about your day. Don't act surprised when somebody calls you out and be like, why are you bullying this bitch for wanting to read a book? And here are the consequences of that kind of interaction. There are generally going to be two people who read books like this. For instance, let's just use Carve the Mark as an example. I've already talked about that book in a different video. So for the sake of not bringing attention to other books that I will never read, don't want to read, but people keep throwing up in my Twitter line, I'm just going to use Carve the Mark. I've already talked about that one before, and hell, I will add to the marketing publicity of the hype of this book. There are two types of people who will read the book like Carve the Mark. The first person is someone who is completely unaware of what's going on book Twitter. They're unaware of what goes on in the book community. They see a pretty cover, they see a familiar name, Veronica Roth, and they say, whoop-de-fucking-do, I'm gonna read this book. That's like the majority of people who read books, like 70%, maybe even more of the people who pick up and read books. And then you've got the second person, the person who is aware of what's going on, but they still decide to buy the book and read it. For whatever fucking reason. They decide to pick up the book, buy it, and join the conversation about this book. Now, the problem is that both these people are being labeled as racist, they're being labeled as part of the problem, they're being labeled as ignorant, stupid fuckheads who can't make the good decision. They're the people who are holding the rest of us down. Now, here's the problem with that summation, that very gross overgeneralization of these two groups of people. The first group, you know, like that huge majority who are reading this book, maybe they really enjoyed the book. Maybe they were like, the book's not that great. And they come across some type of discourse about the diversity in this book and why this book is problematic, or people's opinions on what the issue is with this book. If the first thing you say to that person is, you a dumb hoe for picking up this book and you a racist piece of shit, if you read this and didn't find no damn problems, then you're part of the problem. You're an asshole. You should probably go fuck yourself. Okay, that's a great way to introduce someone into the conversation about being aware of diversity in books and problematic content. That's also a great way to have someone say, the fuck? Didn't know all this shit was going on, but wow, that bitch is stupid. She thinks she knows me because I read this book and I liked it. Fuck you. Fuck your arguments. I'm not even going to pay attention to this anymore. No, in matter of fact, I am going to pay attention. Let me see who else is saying this, because I got a chip on my shoulder right now, and I'm going to go troll some bitches. Someone who may actually agree with you, but because you were so volatile and so rude to that person, they didn't listen to a damn thing that you said about why it was problematic. They were so focused on how you were fucking putting them down and tearing down their character, that's all they were paying attention to. And then they just sat there and tried to discredit everything you said, instead of becoming actual respectful discourse about things that they could have become aware of and things that they could have been interested in, and be like, damn, I didn't notice, this is some juicy gossip, let me figure this shit out, because you know what, now that I'm thinking back on it, some of this stuff was a little sketchy. Okay, let me do some more research on this whole thing. Oh shit, lots of people talking about this. Girl, where have I been? Book Twitter, where have I been? Instead of that kind of reaction, you're gonna get a big old fuck you. Now that second person who is aware of what's going on and they want to read the book to form their own opinion, they've been labeled stupid because, well, didn't you read the review from the woman of color who said this was racist piece of shit and you still decided to buy it? What, are you too stupid to fucking understand what racism is? Nah, bitch. What? Because a few people said it's racist, well, I want to read it to see if it's racist. So you need to see if it's racist because a woman of color's opinion ain't enough for you. Is that what you're trying to say? If a woman of color's opinion on her experience in racism isn't enough for you, then you must be a racist motherfucker. No, I have my own mind and my own opinions, and if I'm going to be a part of a conversation about this and, you know, help with the progress of diversity, I should at least be aware of the content that I'm talking about before I talk about it. No, the only thing you need to know is what other people of color or people of marginalized groups are saying about the book. That's all you need to know, and that's all you need to reiterate, boo-boo. Now, guys, on the surface, it sounds great to say, hey, raise up marginalized voices and listen to them about the problems that affect them. That in principle sounds amazing. That is actually a very good thing to do, is to listen to people who are experiencing problems, talk about those problems, for sure, which is perfectly fine. But you cannot turn around and ask those people to be a part of an active movement, to be a part of a change, to be a part of the community with you, when you only want them to visit your problems, not have any say or any discourse or join the conversation or be a part of the change or the new thing that comes out of this. If you want someone to be a part of something, you have to stop trying to take their voice away from them. If you want somebody to be a part of the change or to be quote unquote an ally, you have to stop telling them that they cannot partake in the actual conversation and that the only thing they can do is fill up the fucking water cups while you talk. That is some bold fucking bullshit. That is some bold shit. And if you're gonna do that, I mean, for sure, like, it's okay to do shit like that. Just be honest. Like, nah, bitch, you only here to fill up my water cup. You ain't here to, like, talk. I don't want to hear you. I don't even want to see you. Be silent. Say nothing. Fill up my water cup, make sure the AC on the right temperature, and stand in the corner and wait until we done discoursing about what's going on. And then you're going to go print the pamphlets and hand them out. Like, just tell people the truth. That's exactly what you expect and what you want. Don't act like you want allies when you just want subordinates. Okay, but guys, that is a form of censorship in itself. Trying to tell someone that they cannot have a voice in something, and that the only voice that is allowed is yours. That yours is the mouthpiece that must be heard amongst the many. So everyone else must be quiet to hear what you have to say. That's not you adding your voice to the argument. That's not you making room for yourself at the table. That's you silencing everyone so that you get to have the platform, and you only have the platform. And when people want to spread the word, they must only speak your word. That's fucking ridiculous. I live in America. I'm a free chick. Nobody's gonna tell me what my words need to be, or that I need to be the mouthpiece for someone else to bring awareness to something that's going on. Like, I will talk about my experiences with what's happening, or I'm not gonna talk about it at all if I feel like I'm a little too ignorant to talk about it. But you don't get to demand that I speak up about a situation and be silent at the same motherfucking time. What kind of craziness is that? Like, if honestly, if I want to support LGBT people, I should at least be able to partake in the conversation, read books, be a part of the discourse. Otherwise, don't ask me just to raise up your voice while I sit silently. I need to know that your voice is legit, that you ain't some crazy motherfucker over here spewing some crazy ass shit that the other people are like, nah. But you know what? Like, if that's what you're about, do you, honey boo boo? I'm not trying to police nobody. But I personally would rather empower people to use their own voice to add to the conversation and the discourse so that we can be more aware of our own ignorance. Because you know what? As a black woman who is in an interracial relationship, who has a biracial child, who has lived in urban and rural areas, who has lived overseas, there are a lot of fucking things that I am ignorant to. There are a lot of experiences that I have not had. There are a lot of things that I don't understand. And I cannot say that I am a monolith of what it means to be a black woman. I cannot say I'm a monolith of what it means to be in an interracial relationship, or to have biracial children, or to have lived overseas for an extended period of time. I cannot say I'm a monolith of any of those things, because somebody else's experience is going to be drastically different than mine. But you know what? It's listening to other people's experiences instead of silencing them and telling them, no, I'm the motherfucking mouthpiece. It's listening to those experiences that lower my own ignorance. So I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody, no, you can't read this book that I feel has a lot of racist rhetoric in it and have an opinion and talk to me about it because I know it's racist, because that's how I feel, because this is my experience. You can't read it and talk about your own experience. Only mine matters. What? I mean, honestly, this is the definition of silencing other people. Yeah, it is so interesting to me how I hear over and over again how people feel silenced with their like 1,000-tweet thread that like tons of people are reading, that they feel silenced. Like, guys, there are two ways to end depression. Either you tear everyone down so you all feel fucking shitty, like you burn down like the whole fucking village so nobody has a hut to live in, or you empower people to raise everyone up so everybody has a hut to live in. I mean, like, again, I am not policing nobody. Y'all can burn down other people's huts all day long. I mean, you know, don't fuck with my hut. But y'all can go around burning down shit all day long. Just stop pretending like you ain't doing it. Just when you get called out for it, stop being salty, acting like you empowering people. Like, you can't talk about how you empowering people while you throwing gasoline around. That's my only issue, is people get called out for bullying people, and the first thing they say is, I can't bully, I'm the one being bullied. Like, look at my skin color. Look at my sexuality. I'm the one who's been bullied my entire life. That don't mean you ain't no damn bully today. And it's okay if that happens to you. Just admit it. Like, I'm not over here trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho telling people how they live their lives. I'm just saying, own up to yo-ish. Now, another point I really want to make about the whole mouthpiece thing. This whole monolith of, if somebody wrote a review on this book, a few people maybe even wrote a review on this book, and they say it's racist, and this is what we should trust, and you shouldn't need to go out and buy this book and read it. You shouldn't need to get it from your library to read it. You shouldn't want to read it because these people told you it was racist. What more evidence do you need? I really want to talk about that dialogue that's out there, and people seem very frustrated because they're shouting this at people and people aren't listening. Well, question number one, why the fuck should I trust these reviews? I mean, like, I'm not calling into question, like, these people's capabilities of reviewing. I'm not calling into question people's experiences or their attributes or however they label themselves. I'm not calling any of that shit into question. I'm just saying, how many of you people go out, read one review, and then decide to spend $20 on a book? One review of someone you never heard of in your life. Look, like, how many people do that? Or do you then say, somebody brought up a really interesting, controversial thing about this book. Let me see what some other people are saying. You usually use these opinions to decide whether you will buy it and read it or not. Whether you will go to the library and read it or not. Not what your opinion is on it, but whether you will invest the time and the money to read it. That's what reviews are for. Not to decide what my fucking opinion is on it, but whether I will spend the time to decide what my opinion is on it. Whether I will spend the time to read it, to be a part of this conversation about it. Whether I will spend the time to let other people know what I think about it. Your review does not fucking exist to tell me how I feel about it. I know you think you as important and you as kind and you as smart, but bitch, I don't got my same ideas about you because I don't know you. So don't be offended when I say, oh, thank you for letting me know your opinion. I'm going to go read it and then get back to you. Don't be like, bitch, is you stupid? Didn't you hear what I just said? Okay, calling me some derogatory terms, talking about how I'm homophobic just because you thought the book was a mess and a terrible depiction of gays. And so I must be homophobic because I want to read it and talk to you about it. Like, now I'm just going to read it and slap the shit out you with it. And probably still agree with your opinion, but I'm still going to slap shit out you because you was rude as fuck. That is me not being the best version of myself. The best version of myself would have just walked away. But messy Francina slap the piss out of you. But I mean, for real, guys, like, on a serious note, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna need people to stop coming at me talking about I'm missing a motherfucking arm. This is ableist. You need to trust me 100%. Like, nah, I don't trust you. Just because you're missing an arm, like, hell, you might be a child molester, a creepster who be rolling up on parks trying to get kids in the van with your creepy fucking, like, free puppy sign. Like, nah, bro. Just because you're missing an arm don't make you some type of saint. Or some black girl talking about, you know, this book is racist and I need you to trust me. Trust my character. My opinions on this should trump your own. Like, nah. Like, nah, girlfriend could be over here murdering her neighbors, cutting them up piece by piece, putting them in the oven, and feeding her family little fingers and toes. Like, look, your neighbors probably trusted you and look what happened to them. Or some chick who bisexual trying to tell me what to think about a book when she could be peddling meth to middle schoolers. Like, I'm sorry, just because you got a certain attribute don't mean that your character is always intact. No matter what your attributes are, ain't got shit to do with your character. I don't know how many of these reviews be coming from people who haven't read books, who had their friends read the book, who read excerpts, who only read 4 motherfucking chapters, but you want me to trust you? Trust you to do what? Lie, cheat, steal? Like, I don't know you from Kingdom Come. I don't know you. And so far, you ain't giving me nothing to go on, especially if you over here insulting me for wanting to use my own intellectual abilities to develop an opinion about something. Like, no, Stalin. And then my last thing is people who try to get books pulled before they're completely published. Like, no, just because you get free books from problematic imprints does not give you the right to be the gatekeeper of what can be published and what cannot be published. Like, and I want to reiterate that. Just because you get free books, you get paid in books, and you want to tell me what to read and what not to read? What kind of sketchy shit is that? Like, no, bitch, take 2 motherfucking steps back. Not only do you get paid in books, but you constantly get paid in books by publishing companies that you deem problematic. I mean, how many times do I have to see from the same people, book after book after book, from the same publishing company, by the same editor, and I'd be like, so you know this imprint is under this huge publishing company, and you've been reading books from all these different imprints, and you have arcs, which tells me that you did not buy these. and you want me to believe that you have no agenda, that you're out there social justice warrioring for me on my behalf, and that somehow I should trust you to know what is good for me. Bye, Felicia. Go sell your crack somewhere else, because I'm not buying it. Bitch, I do not do drugs. Goodbye. See you later. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. Train is leaving without you. But guys, that's the last point that I made about these people getting free books and then deciding that they're the gatekeepers of what books get published and what books don't. For the good of the rest of the society. Like, I get that you guys have a noble cause, but just because you have a noble cause doesn't mean that you get to be the fucking gatekeeper of what gets published and what doesn't. It's a community effort. You add your voice to it. Other people choose to agree with it completely, agree with some aspects of it, or agree with none of it. And guys, getting free books and arcs and shit like that, it is a type of power, for sure. You're being told that you are special enough to read something before everyone else gets to read it. And that power sometimes goes to people's heads. That feeling of control that people are listening to you and they care about what you have to say goes to people's heads. And then all of a sudden people start feeling like because you have a platform to speak on, it means that you get control over the people who listen to you. And that is a very dangerous thought. Like, come the fuck on. Aren't we all marginalized people who are constantly fighting against people who do that shit? How many people in this world have suffered, who continue to suffer, who run for their lives, who live in a state of constant ignorance or a constant fear and paranoia because of censorship in their own countries? I mean, like, you know, we're trying to do it softcore here and prop that up like that's an okay thing to do as long as you do it for all the right reasons. When people come from countries where people told them that and then it turned out terrible. And then these people are coming to this country like, oh my God, now they're doing it here. What the fuck is wrong with you people? When people don't even acknowledge that, it's like your own American privilege is just gotten so fucking big for you that you can't even look outside of yourself and see the actual real struggles of other people in other countries that all started and are all based out of the things that you're doing right now. And that's really fucking upsetting because like I said, I have so many different ignorances about so many different things, but it's when you allow other people to have a voice and to speak that it lowers your ignorance level on so many different topics. But when all you do is try to shut other people down and tell them what to think and how to think because you think you know the right way, well, how many people are you hurting because of your own ignorance that you willfully disregard and won't even acknowledge? Be aware of the stuff that you reiterate and be aware of giving away your intellectual ability. Nobody who comes from a good place will ever ask you to give away your own ability to think and to question and to be a free person. No one who comes from a good place will ever ask for your freedoms. But that's all I've got for today. And guys, I will talk to you later. So love you. Have a great day. TTYL. Stop for now. Bye.